She tormented him for years. Now she begged for his attention, but he would never forgive her. It began in middle school, with a spilled drink and a laugh. Mei upturned the carton over Hiroto's uniform, a pink stain spreading as the class watched.
Oops! So clumsy, Mei-chan. That's going to stain.
She leaked his private diary entries to the whole class, letting everyone read his innermost thoughts.
Listen to this. I wish I could be brave like the heroes in manga. How pathetic.
Through it all, Hiroto kept his head down, never fighting back.
Don't be so mean to my little brother, Mei. But I have to admit, it is kind of funny.
Then Hina announced she had won a scholarship to study in Switzerland. She would leave Japan for an entire year. Hiroto was left alone in the same class as Mei. And that's when everything shifted. The morning of Hina's departure, she hugged Hiroto with a smile that never reached her eyes.
Take care of yourself, Hiroto. Don't let Mei bully you too much.
Hiroto said nothing. He watched her wave from the train window until the platform was empty. The next day at school, Mei approached his desk holding a wrapped bento box.
Hiroto-kun, I made extra. Would you like some?
Around them, classmates turned their heads, whispering behind cupped hands.
Is this another trap? She must be waiting for me to let my guard down. No thanks. I don't need your poisoned charity.
He stood and left without looking back. Mei stood frozen, her hands trembling around the bento. The classroom buzzed with whispers. Mei lowered her head and put the lunch away. The following week, Mei tried again. She slid into the seat beside Hiroto, her posture stiff with nervous resolve. Whispers erupted. Students nudged each other, exchanging disbelieving glances at her continued attempts.
Again? Doesn't she understand that I won't fall for this?
When she reached to adjust her notebook, their hands accidentally brushed. A deep scarlet flush spread across Mei's cheeks, raw and involuntary. The laughter grew sharper. A boy leaned forward, making a mocking face at her red cheeks.
That blush, it wasn't fake. He looked away, his chest tightening unexpectedly.
But Mei didn't run. She sat through the ridicule, her hands shaking beneath the desk. When the bell rang, she stood up, her lips pressed together, and walked out with a determined stride. The whispers continued. Hiroto stared at his clenched fist, more confused than ever. After the last bell, Hiroto walked past the lost and found shelf. A flash of pink caught his eye. He pulled out a small diary with a heart-shaped sticker. Mei's name was on the inside cover. He flipped through pages of looping handwriting, all about him. Then a different entry stopped him cold. The words read, "Hina-sama said I have to spill the juice." She said it's just a prank. Hands trembling, Hiroto texted Mei to meet him on the rooftop. He needed answers. Mei arrived, breathless and pale. She saw the diary in his hand, and all color drained from her face.
Tell me the truth. Did Hina make you do all of it?
I didn't want to, but she threatened to end our friendship.
Why? Why would she do that? What aren't you telling me?
Mei shook her head, tears spilling over, and bolted for the door. Hiroto stood alone, the diary heavy in his grip. Back in his room, Hiroto flipped through the diary again. A second entry made his stomach drop. He remembered Hina's laughter as Mei humiliated him, her eyes bright with amusement, never sympathy. He opened his phone and typed, "Hina, why did you always laugh when Mei bullied me?" Moments later, her reply popped up. "It was just a joke, Hiroto. You're overreacting."
Just a joke. He clenched his fist until his knuckles went white.
The next day, he saw Mei in the hallway, crying at her phone. She spent lunch on the rooftop, her back to the door, shoulders shaking.
Watching from the stairwell, he felt a twisted knot in his chest. Could it all have been Hina?
He reread the diary entry that night. Hina-sama said no one can know. She'll make sure I regret it. Hina's smile burned behind his eyelids. The more he dug, the less he recognized his twin. He replayed a memory he'd buried. Before the juice spilled, May's eyes darted to Hina. Hina gave an imperceptible nod. Then May upturned the carton. That glance hadn't been accidental. The next morning, he stopped a girl who'd been part of their middle school group.
Did Hina ever force May to do things?
The girl looked away and said, "Hina?" She always decided what May would do. May couldn't say no. That afternoon, he cornered May in the empty classroom before club activities.
I'm only asking once. Did Hina make you bully me?
She nodded, biting her lip hard enough to draw blood.
She said if I ever stopped, I'd lose her. She was my only friend. I was stupid.
What else? What aren't you telling me? But she only shook her head, sobbing. He grabbed her shaking hand and repeated his demand.
Show me the messages now.
May fumbled with her phone, then turned the screen toward him. The texts glowed on the screen. Pour the juice, or I'll tell everyone you like Hiroto. Below it, it's just a prank. Don't be a baby. He scrolled through dozens more. Each message was a command, each one ending with Hina's name. Another read. She said she'd make sure I regretted ever going against her. All because I looked at you once.
All this time, his sister had been the real bully.
I don't know why. She just hated that you liked me. I never understood.
He clenched his fist. Hina had answers, and he would tear them out if necessary. The scholarship, the smiles, none of it was real. Leaving May behind, he walked into the hallway. The diary in his bag, the messages on his phone, he finally had proof. At home, Hiroto sat in the darkness of his room. The laptop screen cast a pale glow across his face as he searched for answers. His email to the Swiss admissions office was blunt. The reply was colder. No scholarship student under the name Sato Hina has been enrolled at this institution. He stared at the screen without breathing. Then he picked up his phone and dialed.
Hiroto, it's late. What's wrong?
I called the school. Hina never got a scholarship. Where is she really?
She left for personal reasons. You wouldn't understand.
Understand what? That my twin is a liar and you've been covering for her?
She was expelled. She harassed a girl who confessed to you. We sent her abroad to keep it quiet. To protect you.
Protect him? Hiroto's hand shook. The cage Hina built wasn't just around May. It was around everyone who ever came close to him. He ended the call. The full horror settled over him like a second skin. Minutes later, he dialed Hina's number. The screen lit up her name, and he pressed call without hesitation.
Hiroto? Why are you calling so late? You never call. Is everything okay?
I know everything, Hina. The fake scholarship, your expulsion, the messages forcing May to torture me.
What? That's insane. Dad told you? He's lying. I'm really in Switzerland, I swear.
You wrote pour the juice or I'll tell everyone you like Hiroto. That's your text. Don't lie to me.
I didn't. I was jealous, okay? You always noticed her. I was scared of losing you.
So you made her my bully, ruined her reputation, and destroyed anyone who got close to me.
Please, Hiroto, I'm your twin. I did it because I love you. Don't turn away from me.
You're dead to me. Don't call, don't text. Forget I exist.
He ended the call. A void opened in his chest where his sister used to be. The next morning, Hiroto found May on the rooftop, alone by the fence. She flinched, braced for fresh cruelty.
I'm sorry. I should have believed you from the start.
You know the truth. Even if you never forgive me, that's enough. I've loved you since middle school, Hiroto-kun. Everything I did, I was just too scared to defy Hina.
All this time, her feelings were real. I can't forget the humiliation you put me through, but I see now you were a victim too. I can't trust you yet. Maybe never. But I'm going to tell everyone the truth about Hina, the texts, her expulsion. The whole school will know.
Your family will hate you, but if that's what you need, I won't stop you. I'll face it with you.
He turned away and walked toward the stairwell. May watched him go, a fragile hope flickering against her fear. That night, Hiroto sat in the darkness of his room, the diary and phone before him. He photographed every incriminating message, every cruel command. He saved the expulsion notice from the school, all the pieces that would burn Hina's world piece by piece.
After tomorrow, nothing would ever be the same.
The next morning, he found May by the shoe lockers. Dark circles ringed her eyes. She hadn't slept either.
I want you in the room when I speak. This is as much your story as it is mine. You deserve to be heard.
If you want me there, I'll be there.
The first bell rang. Hiroto walked calmly to the front of the classroom, his expression unreadable.
Sensei, may I say something? It's important for everyone.
The teacher hesitated, then gave a slow nod as every single eye in the room turned to him.
Hina Sato, my twin sister, orchestrated every act of bullying May committed. I have proof.
Hiroto held up his phone and read, "Pour the juice, or I'll tell everyone you like Hiroto." He scrolled further. "It's just a prank. Don't be a baby."
She forced May to spill that juice, to leak my diary, to mock me every day. Here is the proof.
He displayed the expulsion notice from the Swiss school. Hina Sato, expelled for harassment of a female student. Gasps erupted. Whispers turned to sharp questions. A girl near the window murmured, "That can't be true." A boy stood up, face red. "You're lying." Hina-senpai was always so kind.
I confronted her. She confessed to everything. The scholarship was a lie to cover her expulsion.
May's sobs broke through the noise. All eyes turned to her, some with shock, some with pity. The teacher stepped forward, voice strained. "Everyone, calm down. We need to discuss this rationally." Hiroto walked to his seat and sat. The weight of what he'd done pressed down like a stone. The bell rang. Hiroto gathered his things and walked out of the classroom, dozens of stares drilling into his back. His phone buzzed in the silent hallway. Hina's name blazed on the screen.
How dare you humiliate me in front of everyone? Do you have any idea what you've done?
You did this to yourself. Every lie, every threat, every smear. You built this.
I'm your sister. You chose that traitor over me.
I chose the truth. Don't call me again.
He hung up. Seconds later, his father's contact lit the screen.
Hiroto, you've shamed the Sato name beyond repair. What were you thinking?
You knew what she did and covered it up. This shame belongs to you.
He silenced the phone and walked home through the empty streets, alone under the gray sky. Days passed. Hina's name was stripped from school records. The halls buzzed with the scandal. May walked through the school a fractured figure. Some offered pity, others muttered blame. At the shoe lockers, Hiroto felt a soft presence behind him. May stood with downcast eyes.
Hiroto-kun, thank you. You cleared my name, even if everyone hates me now.
I didn't do it for you. The truth mattered. That's all. Don't read more into it.
I know, but can we ever start over? Please, just tell me it's possible.
It's too late for that. Too much has happened. I can't.
He turned and walked away, his back stiff and unyielding. May didn't move. Tears streamed down her face as the last bit of hope dissolved. The next morning, May crept toward his desk with a bento, her hands shaking.
Please, Hiroto-kun, I made your favorite. Just take it. I'm begging you.
I told you it's too late. How many times do I have to say it?
He stood and brushed past her without a glance, leaving the bento untouched on the desk. At the school gate, May waited in the cold, and when he appeared, she grabbed his sleeve.
Just look at me. I can't bear this silence. I just want you to look at me.
He pulled his arm free without breaking stride, as if she were a stranger.
You're pathetic. Stop this desperate show. It won't change anything.
May crumpled to her knees in the corridor, her sobs echoing off the lockers. He never looked back. The school returned to a hollow rhythm. Hiroto walked the corridors like a ghost, speaking to no one. He slid into his seat without a sound. The desk beside his was empty. May's nameplate had been removed. Whispers drifted from the back. She hasn't shown up in 3 days? Do you think she transferred?
So she's given up. Good. That's what I wanted.
But his fingers curled tighter around his pencil, knuckles paling. He stared at the chalkboard until the words blurred. The silence on that side of the room was heavier than any insult. At home, he immersed himself in textbooks. Formulas and history dates, things that could be solved and left behind. His grades climbed, perfect and bloodless. When the teacher commended him, Hiroto nodded, his face empty. He had the truth, he had justice, and he had nothing else. Late that night, Hiroto emptied his school bag and found the pink diary tucked at the bottom. He didn't remember putting it there. His thumb pressed against the heart sticker, and a single folded note fell out. The words were written in a trembling script. "I am transferring schools. This is the last time you'll ever see me."
Good. Let her disappear. This is what I wanted.
The next morning, a classmate mumbled that May's transfer paperwork had been processed. She was gone. Hiroto climbed to the rooftop without thinking. The chain-link fence rattled in the wind, and a figure in school uniform stood alone. She turned, eyes swollen but dry. Her voice was barely a whisper.
I came to say goodbye, Hiroto-kun. I won't be a nuisance anymore. Can I have my diary back? It's all I have left of me.
Hiroto pulled the diary from his blazer and held it out without a word. She took it, clutching it to her chest, and walked past him. He didn't turn around. The door clicked shut. In the hollow days that followed, the school treated Hiroto like a ghost. The younger students avoided his gaze, and the teachers never mentioned Hina's name again. An official notice was posted outside the principal's office. Hina Sato's enrollment had been permanently revoked. She would not be returning to Japan. Hiroto sat through classes with a rigidity that felt like armor. No one sat beside him. The empty chair next to his desk became a permanent fixture. His grades climbed into perfect ranks, a tower of correct answers built on silence. Teachers praised him. His father sent no more calls. One evening, a thin envelope appeared in his mailbox. The return address was in the next prefecture. Inside were 3 pages written in a careful, trembling script. Hiroto-kun. By the time you read this, I'll be starting over somewhere far away. I won't ask for forgiveness. She wrote about the years of fear under Hina, the relief when the truth came out, and the hollow ache of losing him. There was no plea, no offer of a fresh start, only a quiet goodbye. Hiroto read it once. A muscle in his jaw tightened, but no tears came. He folded the pages neatly, placed them back in the envelope, and set it in a drawer with the diary. He had wanted her gone, and now she was. That was the justice he had demanded. But at night, the silence was heavier than any apology. Spring bled into a gray winter, then back into spring. Hiroto moved through the school calendar like clockwork. The graduation ceremony arrived on a cloudless morning. Students in dark blazers filled the gymnasium, but Hiroto walked in alone. He received his diploma with a blank expression. No family in the audience, no friends clapping, only the echo of his name.
All those years of humiliation, and in the end, I'm the only one standing.
In the classroom that afternoon, he sat one last time at his desk. The seat beside him had remained empty all year. A thin layer of dust had settled on May's old nameplate. He traced his finger over the desk's surface, where she had once slid a bento toward him. Then he stood and never looked back. Behind the school, cherry blossoms drifted across the empty gate where she had once grabbed his sleeve. He walked past without slowing. The future stretched ahead, vast and silent. At home, he packed his school blazer, textbooks, and the drawer with the pink diary. He closed the cardboard box and taped it shut. It was simply too late. After graduation, Hiroto enrolled in a university 2 prefectures away. He carried the cardboard box among his belongings and never opened it. His dorm room was small and clean. He slid the box under his bed and covered it with a spare blanket. He attended lectures alone, ate alone, and returned to silence every evening, just as he had chosen.
This is what I wanted. No one to mock me. No one to lie to me.
But sometimes, late at night, the silence pressed in. He would find himself staring at the bed, remembering the weight of a pink diary. One evening, after a particularly empty day, he knelt and lifted the blanket. His fingers traced the rough tape.
What would I find inside? Old pain. She's gone. It's too late.
He pulled his hand back and tucked the blanket into place. The box remained sealed. The seasons turned. Hiroto walked across the university campus with perfect grades and a heart of static. It wasn't anger that filled the emptiness. It was simply absence. He settled into a university routine that asked nothing of him. Lectures, meals, sleep, all in perfect solitude.
At least there were no surprises anymore. No one to mock him, no one to lie to him.
The cardboard box stayed under his bed, a shape he no longer acknowledged. Sometimes he forgot it was there.
Sometimes he would lie awake and listen to the silence, heavier than any voice that had ever ridiculed him.
The sealed diary gathered dust in the dark, its heart sticker long buried beneath layers of old pain. Once, a flash of twin tails in the campus crowd made his step falter. His throat tightened.
But he walked on. There was nothing to chase. That door had closed, and he had locked it himself.
The calendar filled, day after identical day, unremarkable and safe. A life without risk. The pink diary would remain shut for the rest of his life. He would never read her final words. He had made his choice, and he would live with it, even if living felt like this. Years later, in a university dorm at midnight, Hiroto sat on the edge of his bed, the blanket pulled back. The cardboard box was still there, unchanged. He lifted it onto his lap, but didn't open the tape. Inside, the pink diary still smelled faintly of ink and old cherry blossoms, a scent he half remembered from middle school springs.
Even now, I can't bring myself to read what you wrote. Maybe because I already know.
Outside his window, the silhouette of cherry trees swayed empty under street lamps. He remembered a pair of trembling hands gripping his sleeve, a tear-streaked face begging for one last look. He hadn't looked back then, and he couldn't now. The door was still locked. He placed the box back under the bed, exactly as it had been for years. The pink diary would hold its secrets forever. Some apologies were never meant to be read. She had tormented him for years. Then she begged for his attention. But in the silence of his room, the only thing left was the echo of what he had chosen. Too late.